Therefore, we can shorten development time or shorten the costs.
But it really needs to be the people that take it in their mind and in their heart.
We have, for sure, artificial intelligence and cloud-based services.
So we have very complex simulation problems.
My name is Thomas Kamla and I love cars. I feel privileged to work in the automotive industry. I always wanted to see my piece of work on the streets. Every time I enter my workplace, the R&D facilities in Wolfsburg, I think, this is my playground. What can I do today? My current position is Head of Strategy, Digitalization, Compliance in R&D Volkswagen passenger cars. Behind me you can see our latest masterpiece, the ID GTI concept. This car is pure inspiration for me. It has an iconic design, it's fun to drive, it's suitable for everyday use, and most of all, it's the transfer of our heritage, the GTI feeling, into the world of e-mobility. And here we are in a very special location, the VW Project Concept Lab. This is an agile workspace where we bring together our top specialists and top decision makers in a very early project phase. This is the birthplace for our VW DNA for interior and usability. I have 25 years experience in different engineering positions. Since I joined VW Group in 1999, there has been a constant change. Energy and fuel efficiency has become more and more important. Electronics, software and functions increased tremendously, and the car has become a device in a complex ecosystem. All of these changes shaped products, technologies, processes, organizations, IT tools and competencies, as well as myself.
What inspires me is to bring people together to drive transformation, to strive for excellence. I'm Henrik Weimer, and at Airbus I take care of our engineering methods and tools. What I love about flying is to see our complex machine actually working reliably to bring me to my destination, to meet new people, discover new things. What I'm most proud of, I was actually leading a project during the COVID crisis where our business slowed down, and we used that to run a transformation project, and that we were able to shape this project during the crisis. My job title is Head of Engineering Methods and Tools and PLM. I've been with Airbus for 21 years now. I joined in 2002. So our current situation is that in terms of methods and tools, we have a hugely complex landscape that has been built over decades with local improvements. And now that we see that there's so much value in data, we want to do it simpler and more integrated. And so the challenge is to figure out a roadmap of how can we renovate our digital landscape to make it much more integrated, much more automated, much more lean. I love this complex landscape because there's always something new to learn. There are so many disciplines and so many specialities. I can always discover a new topic and learn something. At prostep ivip, I'm the speaker of the board since I joined the board in 2018. My work on the board of prostep ivip is important to me because it shapes the future of the association. And so my role is to keep the team together and to drive the association to serve our members. Thomas, so welcome to Toulouse. We're here in the Aerospace Museum, the Aeroscopia, and it's great to have you here. How did you get to Toulouse?
When I come to Toulouse, I have to go by flight or by airplane. I came yesterday with Airbus A319, was it? Fantastic aircraft.
You liked it,
and you?
Right. Me, I got here by car, plug-in hybrid actually. It's a German car, but not a Volkswagen, unfortunately.
I've seen it.
All right, let's get going. We're here to share some elements that we think could be interesting to the members of prostep ivip.
So what can we expect from today's talk?
We'll start out with systems engineering and model-based systems engineering.
Then we talk about machine learning, artificial intelligence, a hype tamer.
We'll talk about platforms and product lines.
And then we have a certain game. We don't know exactly what happens there. It's a little surprise even for us.
Let's see. And finally, there'll be an exchange about prostep ivip and why we too are engaged in prostep ivip.
Yes, then let's say start with the first topic.
Let's get going with that. So systems engineering. I'm from aerospace, and in aerospace we have strong requirements from our regulatory authorities related to safety and other things like that. So we have a strong culture of systems engineering to show by A plus B why our product satisfies requirements. So it's really about cascading requirements through specifications and tests to demonstrate that our product is really satisfying all these requirements. How is that in automotive?
It becomes the same, let's say. Traceability is becoming more and more important for us. But on the other hand, we have, let's say, some different challenges. Our ecosystem becomes bigger and bigger, and we have more and more requirements from other sectors and other components like payment or charging systems or digital infrastructure. So that's what we have to implement into our vehicle architecture and our requirements management. And we have to develop our car that the operation is bulletproof and we can deliver the best customer value also in a digital ecosystem. So that's why we have to implement systems engineering, model-based systems engineering to model all of these dependencies that we have in our requirements and also the architecture. Otherwise, we are not able to predict or to calculate the dependencies and the functional behavior of our vehicle.
Yeah, so that's really it. To front load the development process with simulations to really de-risk the product architecture and make sure that you do the right choices when you define the product.
Exactly. And it has a lot to do with architecture management and also with requirements management and also with the competencies that we need for this.
It's really about the simulations to, as you say, the competences to really know the different disciplines that characterize the product and to be able to describe it through simulations to evaluate and mature the product definition.
That's very impressive what you do at Airbus with your R&D Academy. We learned about this R&D Academy from you, and we have seen a very good education or qualification program for your employees that is related to architecture management, requirements management. You do this very well, and we will implement the same in our company as well.
All right, great. So that's already one learning we got through our collaboration and the knowledge exchange through the prostep ivip Association. For sure, competences is really the foundation of how you develop a product and how you run an engineering organization. So it's important to really foster and develop competences. And for that, we have an academy system that basically by discipline manages that competence, captures knowledge and develops people to grow in that engineering discipline.
Very well done. From our perspective, it comes more and more important. Somehow it is seen as a hype, but it has really practical advantages for us.
Can you give me some examples?
We use it for process optimization, for instance, when we predict braking noises or we analyze braking noises with the spectral analysis, and therefore we can shorten development time or shorten the costs dramatically. On the other hand, we can improve our products, for instance, when we use virtual sensors, not physical sensors, virtual sensors by artificial intelligence. I can't tell you more about this, but this is really practical use for us to improve our products.
All right, it's actually quite similar in our business. I think we even have the similar applications for the noise analysis, for example, cabin noise or noise from a hydraulic system to really learn out of the data and analyze the data. And around the process, we have some applications. For example, we have very complex simulation problems in aviation. Fluid dynamics, for example, to understand the performance of the product. There are calculations that can run several days or even weeks, so they are very costly. And we can use machine learning to extrapolate basically from a few of these simulation runs, kind of interpolation between the results to use AI to avoid to run these costly simulations and to really optimize the product much more efficient this way.
Same implementation in our company. A few fluid dynamics calculations, we use also machine learning for this. Do you see this as a hype or is it of practical advantage? advantage?
I'd guess a bit of both. There's definitely some hype about AI, but I think there's also an enormous potential because there are so many manual tasks, human intervention, where we can really use AI and machine learning and generative AI to generate value, to simplify processes. Another application that we have is about analyzing findings, for example, in the manufacturing process, where a lot of the problems are really repetitive, and we can use AI to classify them and to really pre-treat before they are classified and validated by a human person. So really shorten the lead time and reduce the workload.
Yeah, I see it completely the same way, Henrik, as you. We use it also for repetitive tasks or for very manual tasks, and when we have big data. So I think we are on the same page and the same approach. We have to use this technology wisely, I think, and then it's of practical use, and we can use it really for shortening and time and optimizing our processes. Yes, in this topic we have a very big history, let's say, in the automotive industry, and we as VW especially. This is very important for us. It's for scaling, it's for cost advantages, and we introduced our platform strategy with the so-called MQB. Then we transformed it to the electrification. Then the platform was called MEB. And now we transform our platform strategy even to the software and electronics architecture. How do you do this in your industry?
Yeah, it's quite similar. You mentioned you came here in a A319 to Toulouse. That's actually part of a family. The 318, 319, 320, 321. They are part of one family. They have an identical fuselage diameter, identical cockpit. There's a lot of identical systems, but they differ a little bit in the length of the fuselage. So we have a platform there that allows our customers to really adapt their seat availability depending on the market. So it gives them a lot of flexibility out of using this platform. And for us, as you say, it reduces a lot the development risk, the development cost through that commonality and economies of scale.
That's right on the one hand, but on the other hand, it's also a risk if there is a failure. When you talk about our cars, when there is a failure in the platform strategy, and we have to develop really precisely and with a very good maturity, because if goes something wrong, it goes wrong with 1 million or 2 million cars in the whole group.
Well, like with every opportunity, there's also a risk, but you can also see that positively because you fix the problem once and it scales to all of the instances of the platform. So that's where the value comes from. And for us, it's also really good for our customers, this platform strategy, because they then can qualify their crews to be able to operate this whole family of product. They don't need to train per type, but can train for an entire family. Also their maintenance, for example, they can keep a spare parts stock and their whole maintenance organization qualified to support a whole family of products. So it's not only for us the efficiency, it's also for our customers the efficiency that comes from the platform strategy.
Exactly, and for us, it's we can realize a complete lineup of cars. For instance, they are really different when you look from the outside to the cars. When we have the MEB, for instance, then you have the ID3, the ID4, the ID5, the ID6, ID7, ID.Bus, yes, and other cars from other brands, and they are on exactly the same platform and exactly the same electronics architecture. So every update that we make, we bring this exactly to this whole fleet for our customers. So this is a big advantage for also for our customers. But our customers are the drivers or the passengers, and your customers are a little bit different, right?
Yeah, our customers are the airline. You mentioned a little bit a change in strategy and evolution of that. You move from a platform strategy at a product level to a platform strategy at the component level. And we're moving a bit to that also. For example, around avionics. Previously, we developed that per product line or per platform. And we can also generate value by trying to standardize that across all our product platforms to have one avionics architecture. And that's a product that we are doing now to really standardize. Again, economies for us, but also economies for the customer, because they can maintain a single set of spare parts that is applicable to several of our products. So that's also an exciting economy of scale that we can get there through a product line or platform at the component level.
For us, it is also very important that the way we think cars or platforms is changing. what do I mean with this? Formerly, we looked about cars to top hats, different types of cars, body styles. And now, in these times, we look more and more to the electronics architecture, because this is the real cost driver for us. So we try to keep the electronics architecture stable, and to bring updates to this electronic architecture, and bring then different cars and derivatives to a certain stages of this electronics architecture. So there's a little bit of change in our philosophy in the automotive industry. So let's come to this little surprise game here. We have to finish a sentence. So somebody tells us a word, and we have to finish the sentence then afterwards.
All right, let's go. Germany is recognized for a strong engineering culture. That's why we have all these small and medium enterprises that create great products with a huge variety. And that's, I think, also why we started prostep ivip in Germany.
I have to say, we make the best cars in Germany. Maybe they make better wine than we in Germany, and also perhaps they have the better football team.
AI will really lead to a step change in terms of performance, because we can automate a lot of processes and learn from the past to predict the future.
My biggest failure was not involving our whole management team and the right people in the transformation process in the right way. We have to bring them to the right approach, with the right speed, tell them, let's say, the sense behind the transformation, and then it works.
The biggest failure that I learned from is really when you run a project to have on board the people that need to deliver. It's not me making the plan, it's the guys that need to deliver that need to make the plan, so that they are committed and really execute what we have agreed.
Henrik, let's talk about this transformation thing. My experience is from a project team perspective that you have to bring the people on the right track to, we call it Sinnvermittlung in German, to tell them the sense behind the transformation, to tell them the path, the approach, the vision, and take them with you.
I guess our equivalent would be to call that give meaning. That it's really you explain why do we need to transform and what is the vision, but it really needs to be the people that take it in their mind and in their heart, and that really the transformation comes from the teams and from the people, that they are engaged to change and want to change, that we really move from a push for the transformation to a pull of the transformation by the different teams.
I have a really good example for this. We wanted to implement agile systems engineering, so we started project teams, and we wanted to work them in an agile methodology. Before we tell the whole organization 1.5 years, what is systems engineering? What are the roles? What are the processes? What is the meaning of a system architecture? And when we started these project teams, they come by themselves. So they said, we need requirements engineering. We need architecture engineering. We need implementation or integration engineers. So we need the role of validation and verification engineers. So they explained us our methodology, but that was a certain grassroots movement from these project teams.
Yeah, so where you really get to an adoption of the change, it's the teams that learn by doing and explore the way forward and mature the model by doing. And that's really great to take off a transformation that way, because it really builds a lot of that culture and willingness to transform in the teams. All right, then next topic, I wanted to talk a little bit about why we are engaged in the prostep ivip association. First at a personal level, maybe tell me, why are you engaged?
That's really easy. This is a network of experts and a network of really advanced engineers and very educated and very good community. And you can only participate and learn from the others. So it's the first thing that I would say to this question, what you raised, is to have this community, to have the chance to be part of the community and to exchange with people like you.
Exactly, yeah, that's also really my take from it. It's about networking, about learning from the others. That way I can learn and I can grow. And I can really bring back innovation to our business and our company, because I see what the others do, I see what is working for them, and I see what is not working for them. and can translate that into our business. So it really helps us accelerate the innovation in our business. And that's what I find so valuable about these exchanges and these common projects.
Exactly. And the other thing, what is also very interesting for me is to learn from other industries. So you are the aircraft industry, we are automotive industry. We have, let's say, the same vendors on the PMT side, but we share sometimes the same problems or sometimes the same approaches and the same goals. So it's very interesting for me to see how you in your business go forward and describe the future and innovate, and exactly the same for us to implement maybe solutions that we discuss with you.
Exactly. Even though our products are different and our markets are different, our customers are different, really the transformation challenges, they are quite the same. It's a complex product where we want to go to systems engineering, use more AI, so we can really share these challenges and learn from each other and support each other also with standards. Maybe beyond our personal motivation, I wanted to talk a little bit about motivation for the company. And there for me, it's really also a learning opportunity for the people that we engage in these projects. So it's not just for me, but also for the people from Airbus that are on the projects. It's also development opportunity for them.
Yeah, for the people. And also for the topics. We discussed today, for instance, several new projects that we wanted to implement in the next year in our board meeting today. And from my perspective, very fruitful discussion about technology, about approaches, about processes, and about priorities. And I think this is also very fruitful for the whole community and also for the industry to move forward and develop new solutions for the whole society.
Do you have an example of where you got some value from a prostep ivip project?
Not an example from a project, but last year, you remember, we traveled to Japan and we met the whole systems engineering community, OEMs, suppliers, vendors in Japan and in South Korea. And what was really interesting for me is that we share the same approaches and we share the same, let's say, issues in our transformation story. So we just discussed application lifecycle management, ALM, for instance, deeply with our colleagues in Japan. And you?
And for me, I would say it's the project Smart Systems Engineering. We are a group of automotive companies that have worked together to standardize a process of how you work between an OEM and component suppliers to do system engineering in an intercompany setup. And they even got to a model-based approach, so where they can share models that specify the system, they can share models that describe the system and simulate the system, and really come to a model-based system engineering between OEM and suppliers to collaborate based on these models for system maturity. I find it extremely inspiring and value generating. The title of our video is actually Push to Future. So let's do just that. Can you tell me what you think the world will look like in 10 years for you?
Let's start with the automotive industry. I think we have 4 pillars that we have to have in mind. We have a decreasing internal combustion engine portfolio. We have an increasing battery electric portfolio, but we don't know exactly the tipping point. When is the importance globally completely shifting to battery electric vehicles? Third thing is we have automotive driving, level 3, level 4. I don't know exactly what is really important for us. And the fourth thing is we have for sure artificial intelligence and cloud-based services. So and that's what we have to consider and have to have in mind when we talk about cars or vehicles in the future. We have a vehicle or a device in a complex ecosystems. Mm-hmm. That's our perspective. And Henrik, what is your perspective from a viewpoint of the aircraft industry?
It's actually quite similar. The societal expectation is also that we transform towards more sustainable aerospace. So we continue on that journey that has already started with the adoption of more what is called sustainable aviation fuel, so build it on renewable energy sources, and then also prepare the future of new technologies, where, for example, we look at hydrogen-based propulsion systems to really come to more sustainable aviation. And then similar to yours, for sure our products will generate more and more data to support our operators with predictive maintenance, with better planning of their operations based on data. And all of that is only possible by transforming the way we really operate and work. So I think we'll also continue the journey on transformation to make our world more digital, because also to face our competition and to become faster and more efficient.
Henrik, this Push to Future talk was really fun. So thank you for your hospitality here. Thank you for this great location where we've been here and the whole day in Airbus. So I learned so much and seen so much really cool machines, aircrafts, yeah, really impressive for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us, Thomas, that you made the trip here and your open sharing with the community on your experiences and on the value you get out of prostep ivip. It's great that the association gives us the opportunity to really meet up like this, and I wish you a safe trip home.
Thank you.